Hi, this is Otis Williams of The Temptation. You know what? You know I got soul.com. Hi.
How are you doing?
Oh, I'm chilling. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Thank you, sir, for taking the time for the interview.
My pleasure.
Cool. So, just want to start out, talk about you're currently celebrating the 50th anniversary, of when you signed your first deal with Motown back in 1961. And now you're releasing the Best of the Temptations to, commemorate that achievement. So, what is the significance and what does this mean to you?
Well, it is a wonderful piece of body of work. I'm amazed. I myself to have such a wonderful collection of songs. And I got a call from the guys that put all the music together. They've just found about 7 more songs that we had recorded and never been released. So when I look at to see a body of work that they released, and there's still more because they're just from 61 to 71. It's just I'm just fascinated and amazed because I never would have imagined that when we started out in 61 that we would create such music that is thus far standing the test of time.
Yeah, and it definitely has. So, take us back to 1961 when you originally signed that deal. What do you remember most about, getting signed?
Well, at that time it was nothing really outstanding, because Motown at that time was in its embryonic stage, trying to make its, map in the name in the music well. So, but we had a wonderful feeling being there because we felt after we signed and was coming up to the company more often, it was just a unique place to be, and little did we know that it would turn out to become an iconic label with so many wonderful, talented people, songwriters, producers, and artists, and creative people of all sorts that it made Motown something really unique and special. So it's just great to be part of something that is so lasting.
Cool. And now, the Temptations are pretty much known as the group that set the standard for all groups who would come to follow in the years after, 80s, 90s, etc. And what does it mean to you to have had that type of influence on music?
Oh, well, I think it's a great thing to have, and to know that we have definitely made a mark and will leave a mark in show business that will outlast us all, So, but we had no idea, when we started singing back in 61 that we would have, almost 40 gold and platinum records hanging here in my home. 4 Grammys, met about 3 to 4 different presidents on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I mean, all the things that we've accomplished is mind-boggling because we never had any idea that we would achieve so much. So it's a great effort.
Cool. And to you, what is the biggest difference in music back then in the early 60s and now here in 2011?
Well, I'm from old school to the point of I feel, and I'm not alone in this here, great songs will definitely stand the test of time, will be around forever, and that's what our hallmark has always been, to align ourselves with, songs that any and everybody of walk of life can identify and appreciate it and make them bring a smile to their face, or either if it's a hard time to make them think about why I was going through some troubled times. But when you can do that says a bunch that, to have that kind of impact on a whole lot of people's lives.
Yep, definitely. And you mentioned, creating that timeless music. In fact, I just heard My Girl on the radio the other day. They still play your music to this day on radio. You created that timeless music. When you were going into making the music, was that your goal, to make something that would last forever?
Well, naturally, at the beginning, it was our goal to just, luckily, if we can get a hit record and make some money and sing to the girls, get the girls, that's what our aspiration was. But after a while, it changed to the point of we just wanted to show business our livelihood. So we had no idea that it would be such a profound impact that Motown, the Temps, and all the great artists that was there would have such leave such a rep. So it was just great starting out and to see it evolve to where it is today.
Yeah, definitely. And talk about the longevity you experienced as part of the group, The Temptations. You know, they were together for a long time, and you know, a lot of groups I grew up on myself, coming out of the 80s and 90s, broke up. They couldn't remain together and keep it together. So, what was your key to remaining together as a group all these years?
Well, you have to work at it, it's not a given, and first and foremost, you're dealing with people, and our emotions and attitudes ebb and flow, and sometimes it's good, and sometimes it's not so good, but through it all, we've been able to survive the many different changes that we've gone through, that here we are, 50 years later, so, but it's the human factor that you have to remember, that we are that regardless of how talented a person might be, there's that human element that sometimes can be overpowering bias when it comes to being successful and coming from nothing to handling money and all kind of doors opening up for you, and you're meeting all kind of people, and you're performing in front of massive amounts of people. So it can be a very challenging thing, and through all that, we've been able to continue on, even with the loss of the original Temps.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, and I've read you served as a leader, and and you served as the organizer and the leader of the group. You weren't necessarily the lead singer, but what was your role in the group?
Well, I guess as time would have it, I guess my role turned out to be the super glue, as some people call me, for staying, keeping the group together, and just having the belief and will to continue on. And we've always had a great support system, at Motown, with Mr. Gordy in particular. Even though we were going through changes, Mr. Gordy always believed in us and would back us. So we've had a lot of different elements to keep us in the forefront, and our fans have always been there, even with the many different changes. So, we've had a multitude of reasons to continue on, and here we are, 50 years later.
Yep. Okay. And are there any R&B groups through the years that you've been a fan of, ones that have come after you, maybe that have come out of the 80s and 90s, the ones you directly influenced? Have you been a fan of any of those?
Well, there's a lot of groups that came out before and after that I admire, I'm trying to think of someone else. The Otis was there along with us, naturally the Four Tops, and then I can't think of too many more, but we just are glad that we've had some type of impact on a lot of different groups, and there have been groups that have had an impact on the Temptations. I was talking with Earl Carroll of is better known as Speedo from the Cadillacs, and he was very inspirational. I told him yesterday because he just had a heart attack, and he's recovering from that, but he was the inspiration for there being Temptations. And when I saw the Cadillacs at the Fox Theater in Detroit when I was about 14 or 15 years old, so the Flamingos, Cadillacs, Moonglows, Dales. So we've had some great influences that inspired us, and hopefully we had something to be inspired by us.
Okay. And just one last question for you. You've had so many accolades over the years, but is there one, achievement of yours that stands out above the rest, as a personal favorite accolade?
Well, when you have had so many wonderful accolades, meeting President Obama, that's one. Meeting President Bush and Clinton. Almost 40 gold and platinum. The list is endless. I couldn't even single out just one because, I never would imagine that we would, meet any president and go to the White House as many times as we've gone. It's to the point now when we go to the White House, I use this. Arnaz is saying, "Lucy, I'm home." When I said that to the White House, I'm home again. I've been here so many times. I never would think I could joke around like that.
Yeah, that's a great thing. Nice.
Yeah, it is.
Anything you'd like to add?
Well, I just want to thank our fans for the continued support and love, and we will always try and give them the best that we have when it's music time or performance time. So I thank them for the love and support.